Dear Class 8, let's begin with the novel A Tale of Two Cities. Children, in second UT you have two chapters 6 and 7. And in this video we are going to begin with chapter number 6, Charles and Lucy Marry. Right? Now let's begin this way. It was midday when Defarge entered his cafe in Saint Antoine. So, where was Defarge's cafe located? In Saint Antoine. He was with the workman, the same person who had seen the man hanging onto the Marquis' carriage. Both he and Defarge were covered in dust. Madame Defarge was, as usual, silently knitting behind the counter. Now, what is a counter? Counter is the front portion of a shop where a table is placed and where the owner deals with the customer, right? Good day, my wife. I've come a long distance with this workman called Jacques. If you remember, all the revolutionaries had a name. They named themselves Jacques. 1, 2, 3. They numbered themselves that way. So this was actually the name of a common man, and all the revolutionaries who were against the rule of the aristocracy. They sat down at a table and had a meal. Meal is their food. When they had finished, Defarge got up and turned to his guest. And who was this guest? This workman. And he was the same workman who had seen somebody hanging at the back of Marquis' carriage. Okay. From here. Are you ready? Shall I show you the room I told you about? Yes, thank you. They went out past dirty courtyard. Past means over here that they went out crossing the dirty courtyard. Courtyard is an area which is enclosed by walls. Okay. And up to the tiled stairs to the 5th floor. So where did they go? To the 5th floor of the building where Mr. Lorry and Lucy had found Dr. Manette some 6 years earlier. So this incident is after 6 years. But no white-haired man was there now. So white-haired man was Dr. Manette. So he wasn't there now because he had been relieved from that place. Only 3 men who had been in the cafe earlier. So except the 3 men who had been in the cafe earlier, there was no white-haired man now. Right? They met in secrecy. So all the 3 men who had been there earlier, they along with Defarge and the workmen, 5 of them all together, they had a meeting there, all taking the name of the common man, the revolutionary Jacques, and they did not reveal out the name. They named themselves Jacques, and if it was Jacques, it was the name of the common man, the revolutionary. Defarge made introductions. So here he introduced his Jacques 1, Jacques 2, Jacques 3. Jacques 4. Now who is this Jacques 4? Jacques 4 is Defarge. Introduce you to Jacques 5. And who is this Jacques 5? The workman. He will tell you all. He will tell you all means he is going to narrate you each and everything. Jacques 5 told them how the Marquis had run over a child with this carriage and how the father Gaspard had jumped onto the back of the carriage and rode nearly all the way to the Marquis' chateau. So he narrated the incident what had happened in the street, how the Marquis had trampled the little child under his carriage wheel, and how the father named Gaspard, he just followed him. He hung himself at the back of his carriage and reached the Marquis' chateau, Marquis' fort. Well, now these are the words of Jacques 5. He says, well, after the Marquis' death, they searched for Gaspard for 9 months until they finally caught him. I saw him in chains being pulled along by a group of soldiers. So we'll read up till here in this video. Next, we'll continue in the next